It's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your to-do list. We have a very special episode for you today, all about contractor fraud. Lots of tips, lots of things to be aware of. It's that time again. Load the truck, ladders, tools, all materials. And don't forget the coffee maker. Let's go. Love home rental? You found the right channel. I am your host, Bob Assadourian, for the Just Ask Bob show. This program has two goals in mind always. Number one, to motivate you to get up, get off the couch, and tackle that never-ending to-do list of repairs and renovations around your home. Number two, to advocate for you, to teach you your rights, to help educate you in finding what I like to call the right contractor for you and your home. Not any old contractor, the right one for you and your home. This program is interactive. You send us an email, visit our site, fill in the contact form, and we will respond in answering your home improvement questions. Also, if you have a problem, an issue with your contractor, send us all the information and we will again do our best to advocate for you. Unlike reality television, today's contractor proudly holds not one but two licenses, the master and the contractor building repair. Why is that important that you hire a licensed contractor? Because in all likelihood, although it's not an absolute guarantee, I can attest to the fact that it's highly unlikely that you will get ripped off. Today, we have a very, very special, two special guests on our show. Unlike the past episodes, this was not precipitated by an email. This was a simple phone call, an emergency call from the homeowners to myself. These people were victim of a door-to-door contractor. For over 20 years on this very network and many others, I've been advocating and teaching and raising an awareness on fraudulent contractors, door-to-door contractors, preying on you right at your home's front porch, everyone from the handyman that doesn't know any better, right to the vile, crooked, and unlicensed contractor that will take you for your hard-earned cash and steal your savings. I've advocated on radio, I've advocated on television, I've advocated in newspaper and magazine. Every possible avenue to teach you and educate you. So this episode is very near and dear to my heart. These homeowners were taken and taken terribly in a very vile manner, a very upsetting manner. This program is going to show their anger. It's going to show raw emotion. My goal in mind is for this to never happen to you as a homeowner, and it doesn't have to happen. Scan the QR code on your screen. For the last 20 years of my interviews on mainstream media regarding contractor fraud and advocacy for homeowners, I've been fighting for your rights, and I will always continue to fight for your rights. Stay tuned. Up next after break, the homeowners will tell you their experience in their own words directly to you.
They told us that the work, it was really about $90,000 worth, but that they would give us a special deal for $74,000, which I can't believe we even entertained that, and I'm glad that we didn't hand it over, but we're in for several thousand in terms of what we paid them in cash, and also just all the damages that they've done, and we have to go back and fix just to put things back the way they were.
For more detail on exactly what happened, we will be hearing it directly from the homeowners, their perspective, with lots of tips on what to watch out for in this door-to-door fraud scam.
I'm Mike.
Becky.
Yeah, we're both the homeowners, and I fell for, I guess, what's called the chimney scam. It was during Labor Day weekend. I was home by myself. Becky was away. I got a knock at the door, and there was someone talking about wanting to inspect our chimney. And at first, I was very hesitant, and I should have trusted that instinct. But I reluctantly agreed to let him look at it. He said, "Can I come back in a few minutes?" Because he was apparently, from what he told me, working down the street at one of my neighbors. So he used that ruse to try and convince me that he was legitimate, that he was working in my neighborhood, that he was a real contractor. He went up to the chimney. He managed to pull a couple of bricks out of the chimney, and at that point he managed to convince me that the chimney could collapse, that there was an urgent issue there, and he actually shifted the top of the chimney a little bit, tilted it forward a little bit, and made me think that, you know, it could collapse on my neighbor's driveway at any time, and convinced me that it had to be dealt with. And it was a long weekend. Everything was closed. There was just limited ability to be able to verify what he was saying, which I should have done. I should have stopped it right there. I should have saw the red flags.
He was saying that there was, once they got the bricks out, that there was, he showed me a video, which is most likely been faked, of wormwood. So I hear worm and I'm like repulsed. So I'm like, I don't want worms in the house. And he said they would have to replace all the beams in the roof and take the roof down, replace the roof, the siding. He said, and I could get an inspector down here, but you guys won't be able to live in your house. It will be condemned. So of course we're super panicked because we're like, where are we supposed to go?
They had a sign, and they had a fake license, and they even had someone call us pretending to be an official with the city, just and gave a name that matched a real building official with the city, which I should have spotted it all. It was just part of their elaborate scheme. And just with the timing of it during a long weekend when everything was shut down, and they made me believe that there was an urgent issue with my chimney, that it could collapse, and they got me. It's just, I think they've done this with other people. It was very well rehearsed. I think they just have done this before, and they're making the rounds, and I just hope people are aware of this. It's in your neighborhood. They're looking for a target.
And I did ask for a breakdown of how much everything was going to be. And he's like, oh, well, if I give you one number, it'll be less cost. If I have to break it down, it'll end up being more. So we were like, well, I mean, the chimney's going to fall down. There's worms in the roof. The house, is the roof going to collapse? Like, we didn't know what was going to happen because we don't really understand much about home repair, clearly. So they did convince us that the work needed to be done.
I can't believe I did it, but I agreed to give them $5,000 in cash that first day. And then on the next day, they drew up a contract, and they asked for another $5,000, and we gave them that, and then they wanted tens of thousands more.
So we went down to the bank. We spoke with the manager, and she was very apprehensive. She's like, I don't think you guys should give them this check. And so I was like, I felt like I was going to throw up. I'm like, I feel sick about this. I'm like, I don't think we should. And then when we came back, and he's like basically showing us them pulling the shingles off as though they were too much moisture from the roof being damaged from the water getting in from the chimney, which was not true. We got the roof done in 2012, and it was done pretty well. But I mean, we didn't know. We can't get up on the roof. I'm not about to try climbing on a roof and break my neck. So we reluctantly give them another $5,000 because they were already doing stuff. We're like, they're ripping our house apart. Well, we need them to fix it. Kind of felt sick about it all day. I had to go to work, and I was there maybe like 3.5 hours. Mike called me in a panic, and he's like, "You were right. They scammed us. I'm so glad we didn't give them that check."
Because that would have just ruined us, and it would have, obviously they would have taken the money and run, and I just tell myself that it could have been worse. That's the only thing I can really say. It's
So when I came home, my boss said I could come home early, and Mike had said that they knocked something on the gas meter. So there was like trucks from the gas department here, from Enbridge.
a huge mess, that just bricks everywhere. They had a brick fall down on the gas meter, and then that was really the biggest, the most distressing part of it, having to have the gas meter replaced.
They had to make sure there was no gas like getting out in the area, like do flames or catch fire or anything like that. So they were here for a couple hours, and they were just as disgusted as we were that they allowed this to happen.
It was just appalling. They brought a day laborer out and just took off and left him here. And we felt sorry for him, because he just wanted to be paid for a day of labor, and they just took off and left him here. And
I spoke with my neighbors when I came home, and they had said they were talking to him, and basically the guys just, once they hit it, they said, "Oh, we're going to go to the store and buy more materials." And they took off and left him behind. They picked him up from Etobicoke in the morning, I guess, and they had his bag that had his like change of shoes, his wallet, his phone, so he had nothing. And I felt so bad for the guy. Mike gave him some money to go buy some food. He had no food, he had no water, nothing. One of the guys from the gas department bought him a sandwich, which was really nice too. And he felt so bad, he was apologizing, and I'm like, they blamed him for everything. They said it was his fault when he wasn't even on the roof, so it couldn't have been him. So he thought he was going to get paid for the day, and he didn't. He said he just found them online, just asking for a day laborer's work. And he said he'd only been in the country like maybe 8 months, so he hasn't been here that long.
so I know Bob through his show on Cable 14, Just Ask Bob, and he was the first person I really thought of when it came time to pick up the pieces and try to rebuild from this, because I know he's helped homeowners. I just wish I had have called him first, and maybe could have avoided all this. But you know, I just I thought of him to come and help us and advise us and help fix the damage, and he came in on an emergency basis and helped us get the emergency waterproofing on the roof, because we had a bunch of shingles ripped off, and it was right before a big rainstorm. So I'm thankful that he was able to come in and do that emergency waterproofing for us. It may have saved our roof from collapsing, given the amount of rain that we had. And I'll feel better when we're able to get things back to normal. But we've got, that's kind of a long road here, probably a few weeks of work to try and repair the damage to our house. And I just feel so betrayed and so violated from this experience with this crooked, I won't even call them a contractor, because they're just crooks.
They were professional crooks, scammers. And the guy that was there that day, he had actually said all this stuff to us. And the person that phoned, when I came home, he phoned Mike. He's like a different guy. It wasn't the same guy we were talking to.
No, please let me explain something to you, Becky, okay?
The fact that they broke something and then they took off after we just gave them cash.
The issue of what happened, right, was a complete accident. My guys did not make off with cash. I had authorized them to attend another project, okay? They made the mistake by leaving the guy there. However, these things happen in business. You are not the only project that
My
we're
blood
doing,
was boiling.
okay?
Well, the guy on the phone this morning said he canceled everything.
No.
and
is
pushed
not
it back.
cancelled. No, it is impossible to do. Look, he should never have done that. You tell me exactly what he said. He never had authorization to cancel because once the goods are paid for, they are then second hand. You cannot just give back the goods, not for a big project like yours. Okay? We get them at a trade discounted price, therefore they're non-refundable. Okay?
He was threatening us, saying he's going to take a lien on our house if we don't pay him. He's like, we're going to fix everything. Which, yeah, right. And Mike's going to go to the bank, and he's going to get my money, not our money, his money. He's destroyed our house. I told him that. I'm like, all you did was put a hole in our room, put a hole in our roof, take down half our chimney, made a giant mess, killed half my plants in my garden. Yeah, so it's a good thing I wasn't in person because I probably would have strangled him. I was so mad. I found this in my tree. I was able to get it down with my shovel yesterday, hanging it until it fell down. And there was a couple pieces like this, and then there was pieces of shingles all wrapped in it. And they told us that they were falling off because the roof was wet, but clearly they were ripped, like they're torn. They weren't falling off. So they were full of crap. So there was nothing wrong with these shingles at all. So, but we can't go up on the roof, so how are we supposed to verify? And they did it while they were on the roof. We found this stuff after they took off and left us to pick up all the pieces, literally. Still, pieces of the mortar everywhere. Under the plants, in the bushes, everywhere. One of my plants in the front was right in front of the whole window. So this is the leftover of the shrub that I had to dig out last night. It took up about this much space. It was a gigantic shrub, and I had to trim back my other shrub here and all the other shrubs because they had shingles in them and the pieces were broken. Even this tree here, the branch is about to fall off. I've been for days trying to pick up all these like little bits of mortar from the brick that they chipped off, that they just sort of dropped off our roof. It's pretty sad to not only steal from us, but to damage our property to such a great extent, even our plants. And I love my garden, so yeah.
It was $10,000 in cash that were out, but many thousands more in terms of fixing the damage that was done over the course of one day. It all happened so fast, and it's like a bad dream that I can't wake up from.
So I did on the Better Business Bureau, I put a flag with all the information. So if anyone types in the name of the fake company and the number, which does go to this crook who was threatening us, so that's also fraud. So it's another thing illegal that they did. So anytime you type in that number, you type in the name, our review shows up, and it's got all the details, even a description of what they look like, how they sounded, sort of what the general ruse was. Yeah, so hopefully that prevents some people from getting suckered into something that we unfortunately got stuck in. So.
Yeah, the bottom line is just don't trust anyone at your door. If they're telling you there's a serious issue with your home, get other opinions. Don't make any decisions on the spot. Always get second opinions. Check people out. Even if they say there's something urgent, that should be a red flag, the fact that they're pressing that urgency, and if they want cash up front.
It was the urgency that something was going to happen to the neighbor's property.
You know, in conversation with Bob, we realized that there was never really a problem. It was a chimney that was used with an old furnace that used to be in the house, which has been converted to a gas, which vents out the side of the house. So at some point, the chimney probably it would have been a good idea to have it capped, but that was a lot less intrusive a job than what was done. It was just massive overkill in terms of what was done. What we were convinced that a massive job was needed when it wasn't.
We just really don't want this to happen to anybody else. It's a tough lesson to learn. But you live and learn, move on, right?
You know, I take responsibility for it, and I don't want sympathy from anyone. I just don't want this to happen to anyone else. We don't want this to happen to anyone else. We just want people to know that this is going around, that people are coming in, they're casing neighborhoods, they're seeing who they can scam, and I just really regret that they got me. It was a very well-rehearsed scam. I think they've done it before on other people. It's probably been very lucrative for them. I just don't want anyone else to fall victim to it. Yeah, we're just sort of taking it day by day, picking up the pieces and doing what we need to do to rebuild and put it behind us. It's just a very expensive learning experience.
I want to take this moment to show my appreciation, and on behalf of all the viewers watching today, an incredible thank you for the guts and the bravery of these homeowners. This was not easy. Believe me, this was not easy for these homeowners to come on air and tell their experience. They feel bad, they feel terrible, they also feel shame. I helped in discussions. We all came to the conclusion that even if one person viewing this episode, one homeowner can be saved from contractor fraud, then it is worth it. So again, a huge thank you to these homeowners for their bravery. Now, we didn't spend a lot of time on this episode with a lot of action and renovation action because we had to make the decision of time. We all agreed that the most important thing to convey in this episode, besides all the fun and eye candy of the home reno, is the advocacy and hearing it right from the homeowners themselves, hearing it right from their hearts. That's the important stuff. Stay tuned. After break, we'll be getting into some tips. For everything home rental, follow us on social media. This has been a heartbreaking episode today. Believe me when I say this, I have decades of experience in these matters, and even decades in the past on this very network, preaching my warnings to homeowners, and even having brought on other Hamilton homeowners that were taken advantage of by these crooked, unlicensed contractors.
Then they were blaming us because we were complaining because of the work that they were trying to refinish.
There couldn't be a more appropriate, a more important program for Bob's Tips, my advocacy to you. When finding a contractor for you and your home, I don't say any contractor. You notice I always say the right contractor for you and your home. Not necessarily your neighbor's contractor, your friend's contractor, your co-worker's contractor. We need somebody whose personality is not going to rub yours the wrong way. So again, it has to be the right one for you and your home. Investigate and research. Make absolutely certain the contractor's licensed. Hands down, that's number one. Make sure they're licensed. Check that they have minimum $2 million liability insurance. Check that they carry WSIB, Workplace Safety Insurance Board coverage. And ask for references. Forget the average 2 or 3. They can find 2 or 3 friends that are very good liars to lie for them and on their behalf. Ask for at least a dozen references or more. Now, if you're dropping tens of thousands on a backyard oasis, kitchen, basement, bathroom renovation, invest the time. Never mind just the references. You want addresses. You want to go visit their past jobs and make sure that you like what you see. That's very, very important. This is not like buying a chocolate bar at the corner store. This is something where you have to invest the time in yourself and in your project to make sure that this is truly the right contractor for you and your home. Do not rush. If there's one thing you can take from today's program is do not rush. That's very important. Number 2 to take from today's program is pick up the phone and call 289-649-0196. You call Bob and you call for emergencies. I am here to tackle your emergencies just as I was for the homeowners that we interviewed in the program today. Equally important is visit our website. It is a database, justaskbob.com. Hundreds of these half-hour episodes. Radio programs from 2 stations. Q&A home improvement columns. Your answer is in our database. It is for the asking, for the taking. Our database, a part of it is our current newsletter, and it has been picked up by the Bay Observer. Special thanks to John Best for picking up our newsletter in the Bay Observer. One more avenue for us to answer your home improvement questions. So again, always remember, you can reach us anytime for all your emergencies and all your needs. Stay safe and be careful.